Morning, Steve Freed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. We've got grain prices a little bit lower. This is post USDA May report numbers, and most of the bearish fundamentalists took USDA numbers and decided to kind of cut into their demand numbers, thinking that they may be too high. As far as the corn is concerned, some people think that ethanol demand could still drop maybe 400 million bushels from USDA's numbers. We'll get an ethanol report today and see if production is now a little bit more in line with demand. We'll talk about more people driving and still not making up for the 40% drop in gasoline consumption, but it may be a start as we slowly reopen the economies. They also, for next year, are looking at higher exports at a time in which there may be cheaper Black Sea and South American corn available. And so it might be a little optimistic. Some people are looking at USDA's 3.3 billion bushel carryout for 2021 for U.S. corn. Might be closer to 4 billion. This includes maybe taking acres down 1 million and still plugging in a trend yield. Over in the soybeans, the USDA right now for next year is showing 150 million bushel increase in China demand, but they have U.S. exports up 375 at a time when we look at next year's 2021 South American supply up 375 million bushels. So the numbers really don't add up that the U.S. exports might be that high. They also, some private people are adding 1 million acres to the bean crop, which could add maybe 50 million bushels to the carryout. So some people have a carryout a little bit over 500 million bushels versus the USDA's 405. In the wheat, we're still watching the Southern Plains dryness, but right now today's maps show some scattered showers that might move through the region May 20 through 23rd. Yesterday's maps were a lot wetter than they are today. The 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day shows warmer temps, and especially the 8 to 14 day normal rains for much of the Midwest. So for U.S. crops, that's pretty good as far as if I'm a corn and soybean crop, and we should have 80% of the corn and 60% of the beans planted by Monday. As far as Europe is concerned, conditions look pretty favorable except in the Balkans. And in former Soviet Union, I think that, let's say 70, maybe even 80% of Russia is going to see normal type scattered rains. And so that's going to limit the upside, especially with the USDA coming out and showing record world wheat crop supplies and not really showing much of a drop in global food demand or even feed demand for wheat because of the virus. So the four things we're going to trade now, number one is weather, which does not look bullish. We're going to trade number two if these demand numbers the USDA come out actually decline, increasing the carryout, and that would offer some resistance to prices. Number three, we'll be watching any news on the global economy and if it's starting to come back after this second quarter. And then finally, any headlines on the virus and how it's spreading, and if there's any scientific news that might help control the spread. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.